but he's not seeking help. You see what I'm saying? And he's saying that he's genuflecting and looking inside of himself, saying, "Yeah, I've hit rock bottom." You didn't look like you fucking hit rock bottom, because you're partying every other weekend. So it's like,
right,
you're playing the game again. Like even your apology says you're full of shit because it's a cut and paste apology.
Bro Church is a highly sophisticated podcast hosted by highly sophisticated people. If you believe that, I'll tell you another.
All right, what's going on? Welcome back. It is the Bro Church Podcast. That's the Dave. I'm Felix. We're back. Dave, there's a lot of shit going on in the bad boy world.
You ain't lying.
We had a whole like starting off to prepare for a podcast about fairy smut, and we ended up getting mollywopped with the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy as we know him from our era, the bad boy hip-hop mogul, arrested. Here's the indictment. So my coworker prints out the indictment when it comes in. It is, dude, it's
so good you had to get hard copy of it.
United States of America versus Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a. Love. Because he changed his name to Love a couple years ago. Or he started going by Love.
He should change his name to Baby Oil.
Dude, this is fucking bananas. For those that don't know, P Diddy back in March, a video was released of him smacking up Cassie in a hotel, dragging her and smacking her around while he was in a bath towel in the hallway. And since then, it just hasn't been good. He like flew to some remote island, recorded a video apology, so he admits that was him. And since then, it was like the fucking Homeland Security raids his homes.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they find? You know where I'm going. What did they find? 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube.
What?
Amongst other things, but I'm just starting there, dude.
Amongst other things, the new news? You know what the update to that is? Did you hear that they not only find 1,000 bottles of lube, but breaking news is they also found 748 dildos.
Yeah.
Is that real? You're lying. I didn't even see that.
I'm not lying. I swear to God, I just saw it.
What is Diddy doing? What is Diddy doing?
What the fuck are you going to do with 748 of that? What are you going to do with 748 of it? Like, Jesus, you're a collector right now. Like,
he has these freak-offs.
A hobby.
He was having these freak-offs, so people are probably bringing their own dildos, bringing extra dildos, leaving them around. He's got his people collecting the dildos, sanitizing them because, recycle and reuse.
Dude, I didn't even know 748 existed. I thought there was like one brand. Apparently not. There's
Dude, can you imagine
makes and models?
Can you imagine being Homeland Security and being like, "Hey, Ralph, there's a room full of dildos. Do we have to? I got gloves, but I'm saying, though, I don't know whose ass they were in, Ralph. I didn't sign up for this. I'm trying to secure the homeland, and we're invading P Diddy's mansions." And he's got 700 dildos in this room.
Imagine having to be the person to have to log all that shit. before the crime, because every time you take evidence, then you got to log it. Every piece of evidence that you get, you got to log it. Imagine sitting there and have to log 748 types of dildos that you got to name by name describe it. Like after a while, you start naming them.
Oh my god! Yeah, because you have to like remember where's the genie in the bottle, because it's shaped like a bottle. The genie in the bottle.
Where's Optimus Prime at?
Where's Optimus Prime?
Because you like transforms into like something.
Yeah, the base of the dildo that's actually like fake balls. It's just, and it's got a flat, so it kind of like suctions itself to the floor. That actually is removable, so they call it Optimus Prime because it transforms. In case you want to put the balls on the other end.
And every time you turn it on, it does a transformer.
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? That was probably his favorite one.
Yeah. And then the sneaky dildo, they call it like the Batman dildo. It just comes out of nowhere.
They can never find it because it's always in the shadows.
It just shows up. It's in the shadows.
It's actually a twofer because it's like a Bruce Wayne version. Everybody recognizes that one.
There's two of them.
You turn the dildo inside out and it's Batman.
Oh my god, dude, 748. I don't think I got 748 ideas even to describe any of that shit. Like, that's fucking crazy. And on top of 1,000 bottles, man, like, what the hell? I mean, you think he was greasing up when they were about to arrest him? You think he was standing there like getting all baby oil? Obviously, they can't catch me now. Can't nobody hold me down now.
Can't nobody hold. It makes you wonder, like, why he was always so shiny in those videos. I thought,
straight up at this point, there it is. I mean, the dude soaked in baby oil. I mean, he had to.
Now, look, we're having fun, and we're going to continue to have fun at his expense because that's the crutch of the podcast. But Dave and I are fully aware there's also a very serious side of this as well. There's a lot of abuse. With the freak offs, sex slaves, people that were women were abused, manipulation, human trafficking over state borders, promising a career and all that. And so, again, I go back to that video that was released with Cassie getting smacked up, which was an artist of his, but also I think like they were together. I don't know the ins and outs of that. I don't really follow Diddy that much. But when the video came out, there was no way you couldn't tell that it wasn't him. It was definitely him. You couldn't say it wasn't. And he runs out because she's trying to get away. She's walking out. She goes through the hotel hallway to the elevators. He comes running out of his room in his towel, still wrapped around him like he had just gotten out the shower, and beats her with one hand. So that, along with this. Listen, I went through this indictment, and I'm highlighting things, and there's so many things from at least in or about 2008. Sean Combs, aka P Diddy's, etc., and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise. It's being considered organized crime because of how detailed and structured it was. He's recording people unbeknownst to them. He has AR-15s with the serial number defaced off of them, which is a huge no-no. And it's like, I don't know about you, dude, but it's blowing my mind because I'm like, this is fucking P Diddy. Like, just P Diddy, who was just 20 years ago just jiving and shucking and dancing and moving, and nobody can hold me down. And it's like, damn, dude, is that what power does to you? Is that what power does?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he was running the industry back then. You know what I mean? I mean, there's conspiracies that he had, Biggie and Tupac taken out, because they were trying to out him or something like that. Or there's conspiracies now that are starting to line up that make sense now. They still haven't proven anything yet because, all these are still allegations in regards to Biggie and Tupac, but it all is starting to line up, dude. Like, this is some serious shit. I mean, you got to think Eminem tried to warn us about him. 50 Cent's been talking about it for years.
50 Cent
Wendy
is
Williams.
trolling him. 50 Cent is trolling his ass.
Oh,
like he
dude.
does. That's one of the things that I've always loved about 50 Cent is he trolls people. He does not care. And he shares a picture of him. He shares a picture of him with on the Drew Barrymore show, and he says, "Here I am keeping good company with Drew Barrymore, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house."
Yep. Oh yeah, he's
any
having a field day,
opportunity,
man.
he's going to cash in, dude. Don't be
telling
surprised
you,
if he
dude,
releases a lubricant brand all of a sudden.
Dude,
50
I'm
Cent.
telling you, watch it. A Diddy brand.
I got
shit,
my barber today was cutting my hair, and he said, "Yeah, for real, no Diddy." Like that's the whole shit now. Like
That's gonna be the new thing now.
Like don't go there with me. Nah, no Diddy. Yeah, man.
Johnson and Johnson is gonna have to change their brand names now. To
Okay,
the baby oil.
okay, thank you. Because one of the things that I was thinking was like, damn, the amount of business that he's been giving, and we're assuming it's Johnson and Johnson. I don't know the details of the brand.
I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, because if it's high quality brand, that's got to be Johnson and Johnson.
My coworker and I, Wyman, he was talking to me like, "Yo, you think the guy that delivered the lotion and the lube and the oils, you think after a while he's like, y'all go through a lot of." We're delivering this in bulk, like every 3 weeks, like for years.
You know what? They were organizing, like you were saying, it was organized crime. They were bringing it in like it was contraband. They were trying to sneak it in, like wrapped in duct tape and shit.
That's 1,000 bottles that were found in the homes. That's not counting
everywhere
the ones
else
that he's been using, the ones that could be on yachts or in his car, or I mean, this guy obviously has a sex drive, but it's very evil.
Sex drive, Jesus.
Yeah, now he's under suicide watch at the Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center.
He ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, I think the funny thing is like you get the Jeff what's his name, Epstein.
Yeah, that's true.
You get that type of like scenario where it's like, is Diddy gonna all of a sudden commit suicide?
Yeah,
because
that's right.
You can't tell me that now Sean Combs isn't sitting there going, if I'm going down, then some of y'all are going down too. And there's big
and
names.
he's gonna do it too. He's already said
Dude.
it. Remember when he was on the island? He made that video. He was naming names. He's like, I'm going to take this guy down. I'm going to take this guy down. Like he already has a quote unquote hit list in regards to taking people down, dude. And I actually honestly hope he does, because they need to be outed too. Because anybody to help that son of a bitch get to where he needed to get to, especially supplied him with all that oil, needs to be advertised. You see what I'm saying? They need to be brought out.
Yeah, that's commitment. That's
I can't get away from it, dude.
Like, do you want to be that guy that they end up finding and be like, this is the guy that the Amazon account was in his name, so Diddy didn't get hit. It was in his name. This motherfucker has been ordering the oils for P Diddy for the past 10 years or so.
They call him Slick Pete.
Slick Pete. He promised me a rapping career, but I got a stutter.
Yo, you know what's gonna happen now? If I know P Diddy, he's probably gonna start and cut an album with R. Kelly now. It's gonna be a C Block album with R. Kelly. They're both gonna come out with a song or like. I've been around the shower.
We came out the closet. I'm gonna bring in the lube. I'm bringing the lube for you.
Somebody bring me soap on a rope.
After Combs' arrest, the singer Kesha, remember her? Wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Like she changed the lyrics to the song.
Smart.
Yo,
She had to,
yeah,
dude.
it is because at this point it says wake up in the morning like fuck P Diddy. That's what the new lyrics are. This is just a huge domino game now, where like one piece kind of drastically knocks over the next. I'm curious.
Oh yeah, Justin Bieber
freaking
freaking like went to the shadows because he's trying to completely alienate himself from P Diddy. Because he was
There's a lot of conspiracies. There's a lot of conspiracies about him, about Usher.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's had these freak offs in these parties that through it. Now they're releasing these clips that through the years people have seen, but now you're looking at it with a different set of eyes, and the context is different. Where he's talking about the parties. He's talking about inviting people to his. There's clips of the parties themselves, like people at a P Diddy party, and it's like, what were y'all agreeing to do? What's and it's not so much like your fetish. I'm talking like the illegal activity of sex trafficking, women and sex workers, male and female, and bringing them in and keeping them there, making them do things, recording them, like I said, to blackmail, to manipulate, to
he had the industry tied.
Man. My
and
God.
And like I said, there was only a handful of people that had the balls to say something about it, and they got banned or what do you call it, blacklisted.
Yeah.
And it's just insane, dude. Just the fucking shit that's insane. But I'm just like, the more and more time goes by, the more and more you find out how deep this shit goes. But it's crazy, dude.
Forbes put out Sean Diddy Combs arrested on racketeering, sex trafficking charges, a complete timeline. Oh, for sure. Now all the spam pops up on my screen. So Combs is arrested in Manhattan. He's arrested on the 16th, right? He's indicted by a grand jury. May 29th. And May 29th, federal investigators bring Combs' accusers to testify before a grand jury. On the 24th of May, April Lampros accuses Combs in a lawsuit filed in New York over 4 terrifying sexual encounters between 95 and 2001. What 95 really is the birth and the beginning of probably like 93, 94, Bad Boy. Biggie was already kind of like reaching his momentum in 95. But listen, May 19th, Cassie Ventura, which is Combs' ex-girlfriend, speaks out after CNN obtained a 2016 video of Combs attacking her in a hotel hallway. Now, she speaks out because CNN has this video all of a sudden. How did CNN get this video? I don't know those details, but it just makes you wonder, like, Diddy is suing Ciroc, I think, or he sued Ciroc and he won for racial discrimination, something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, shit starts popping off. And I think the conspiracy theorists are going to start taking that route. I am the believer of, if you are doing this and people find out about it and use it against you, Godspeed, bro. That you had that coming. You can't do things like this and then try to muscle your way where big cats that play also are going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to get information on this guy. Because I can see that being a play that's happening.
Yeah, dude. It's just like organized crime. You go to the top and you fuck around with a different boss, man, you're going down one way or the other. Like, you got to think a lot of the mafia heads got because their own people snitched on them. So you got to imagine the same things happening to him. But good, because now things are coming to light. And like I said before, I really hope he does start naming names, because they all need to be fucking got, because this is like exhausting.
Well, and it's not going to stop.
Without You can't go to industry and start,
Yeah.
a new career, your music career, your, whatever, your movie career without getting slapped in the face with baby oil. You gotta, it's like now it's a baby oil free environment where you can just grow.
I think too, like, it kind of shows you the gatekeeping that takes place when it comes to stardom and fame, because people are willing to do whatever and I don't want to blame the victims here. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people are blinded by their want and need for success, that they're willing to be humiliated or put in compromising positions that are brutal and unfair and unjust, and they get taken advantage of. And
that's where it lies.
Many different ways. Yeah, like you have situations like this. You have situations like Weinstein. You have situations like Epstein. You have like situations of the guy that created all the boy bands, the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and he ended up dying in prison.
That guy, like
people take advantage, and when there's money involved in power, what Diddy was doing, it just looked like he was really trying to create an empire where he fucking ruled in many different ways, illegal and legal.
Yep. He fed it, man. He fed on people that wanted to live that dream, that wanted to climb. And he knew what he had, and he fed on it like a fucking predator, man. Now he's just running around with in prison with R. Kelly and trying to come up with a new album, trying to get the fuck out of there because he's stuck. He's fucked now, though. One way or the other, he's screwed.
Remember in the beginning of the year, Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp.
He was one of the guys that was warning to everybody, and he was one of the people that got blacklisted.
He was pretty much saying this year, shit's gonna happen, and it's just crazy. February 26th.
Cat Williams has been saying it for years.
Producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones sues P Diddy in New York and alleges he was subjected to unwanted advances of associates of Diddy at his direction and was forced to engage in relations with sex workers he hired. In a set of widely covered allegations, Jones says in the lawsuit that Combs regularly hosted sex trafficking parties with underage women and illegal drugs, and implies record label executives who looked the other way financially benefited from access to celebrities and dignitaries like the British royal Prince Harry.
Yep.
I mean, where I just feel like we could very well just be thinking that we're going to start seeing some shit, and then you can watch the powers that be control and manipulate and wipe it out anyway. But
I mean, that's what they did before.
It's definitely an eye-opener to what's going on in that world. And, of course, I hope that the people that were hurt and abused, the women that were hurt and abused, and the men, I hope that there's some sort of rectifying and justification for them. Vindication is what I'm thinking of. Because we're just looking at it like we're having a funny, take on it. Because when you hear 1,000 bottles of lubrication and baby oil being seized in a home raid out of 3 homes, Miami, L.A., and I think it was 2 in Florida and 1 in L.A. Regardless, dude, that's just funny.
Like a lot. I mean, and 748 dildos, dude. 748. That's the magic number right there.
Go play those numbers, Dave. 740.
You gotta play those numbers, man, because I'm telling you what. Like, seriously.
It's a shame. So right now he is on suicide watch. They're gonna watch his ass. I can't back out. I don't know what Google's doing here, but I mean,
let's not do that. That's probably what got him in trouble to begin with.
Ex-porn star tells cops in 2018 he's Sean. In 2018, he was P Diddy's alleged sex slave. And a resurfaced video. So this was from 2018.
Wow.
An ex-porn star is arrested And while he's being detained and interrogated, he brings up that he was a sex slave for P Diddy and Cassie, that he was forced to have sex with Cassie while P Diddy masturbated. P Diddy's also masturbating while these freak offs and acts are taking place. He's got a really he got a fetish, bruh. Like he I had sex with Cassie and Sean, he says. He would masturbate and tell me what to do to Cassie. I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. So, I mean,
you're saying for them, so she was involved too.
She was involved, but I mean, considering the structure, I'm sure she didn't have a choice in it. She was also being abused.
Yeah. Got to.
So it just, man, I don't know, man. I just freak offs. I was listening to Ebro in the morning, and they were kind of joking around how, like, you can't even say freak offs anymore. You can't say freakniks anymore. You can't play the freaks come out at night anymore. You can't. No, the word freak.
Now
freak out.
It all has different meanings now. You can't do it anymore. Like, it all has different meanings, dude.
Do you feel that, going back to the Cat Williams thing that I mentioned, that there is a shift taking place where there's some accountability that is being had with these people of power this year so far?
Oh yeah, it's going to be like right now. There's a giant vacuum that's happening, so those who are involved are losing. They're just losing grip. They're losing the fight. So all the way up to the politicians involved in all this, this coming to light. You can only hide so much in this new age of media, the new age of being on camera, that you just can't get away from it now. It's going to happen. It's going to come out. All you need is a phone. All you need is a phone and the video, and it exposes your empire and crash it down. So, these people who caused all these issues or who are doing sex trafficking are trying to be more creative and trying to hide themselves. But, dude, it's a vacuum now. They got P Diddy. Who's next? You see what I'm saying? So it's these politicians that are now, that were caught before and are hiding behind their rules are now fucking shitting their pants because they're like, God damn, it's getting closer. The fucking heat's rising, man, and it's getting about to burn. So I say fucking let it burn.
Yeah, I especially when you have the abuse of women. Which I know that you feel the same way, but we just don't fucking condone that shit. You can't put your hands on a woman, especially in such a heinous manner where, like, you're just trying to dominate and prove your superiority. You're trying to be this god, if you will, which I feel like when people are in the position like what P Diddy was, he's untouchable. You can't fuck with him, and that can be a very, very dangerous place to be
that's what caused his downfall.
He was denied bail. He was denied bail after a judge determined during the hearing that the bail package presented by the defense was insufficient. He was offering $50 million. He was offering his passports, his kids' passports, his mother's passport. He was, I think, the deed to his home, or one of his homes. The amount of shit he was promising to wear a monitor, so because they were considering him a flight risk, but also they were saying, listen, he could go and get to one of these witnesses because there are witnesses being pulled in now. So this is just the tip of an iceberg. Or he can have somebody else get to them. Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's a crazy scenario.
Yeah, I mean, even as we speak right now, he's probably trying to pull strings and trying to get these witnesses to shut the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? So they're trying to hurry up before he does that, before he gets it, these people cleaned out. Because money pushes, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, and money, yeah, they say money is the root of all evil. It's things like this. If you remember that video he made when he apologized, there's something. I'm gonna read this quote because, he makes it seem like that instance, that video footage of him attacking Cassie was like a moment in his life that he's not proud of, obviously. But he makes it seem like that it was a moment. It's so difficult to reflect in the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and sought out professional help, had to go into therapy, go into rehab, had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry, but I'm committed to being a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry. That was in regards to just one moment that people were able to see because there was video footage of it. What about all the other shit that you've been doing for years that apparently really goes back to the mid or early 90s?
Yeah, so, I mean, you got...
The abuse.
You got to break down that apology. Like,
oh my God, dude!
Seriously, let's break down that apology. Like, number one, P Diddy didn't write that shit. He had his fucking publicist write that shit. His what do you call it? The crowd control person that
PR.
The PR person wrote that apology. Why? Because they hit up on very important parts. Number one. It said, God. Once you bring God into the mix and ask for God's forgiveness, there's a lot of Christians out there that says, okay, he asked for God's forgiveness. He must really feel sorry, and then they move on with their lives because that's all you have to tell them. And then you have other people who say, oh, wait, he's looking for help. He said he's looking for help. Okay, that we accept his apologies. You see what I'm saying? So he's playing to these people's heartstrings. Number one, using religion. Number two, saying that he's seeking help. But he's not seeking help. The help was always there. He can afford to get help, but he's not seeking help. You see what I'm saying? And he's saying that he's genuflecting and looking inside of himself saying, I've hit rock bottom. You didn't look like you fucking hit rock bottom, because you're partying every other weekend. So it's like...
Right.
You're playing the game again. Like even your apology says you're full of shit because it's a cut and paste apology. You talk about God, then you talk about finding help. Okay, then you apologize and always say you hit rock bottom because everybody says that in their fucking apology after they beat the shit out of somebody or they sex traffic somebody. Oh, I hit rock bottom. No shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but it's always convenient to say that after you've been outed.
Yeah. You know what rock bottom is? Rock bottom is like fucking coming out of a bar at 3:00 in the morning, not having a place to go and sleeping in a cardboard box. That's fucking rock bottom to me. Not running to your personal private island, to another house, dipping
that's
in
what,
the kiddie
I'll
pool
tell you
full of
what,
baby
though.
oil.
He looked like he hit rock bottom in that video when he was recording. He could tell, the stress on his face, the grays were coming out. Wherever he was, he couldn't get that for men fucking hair dye for his beard.
Yeah, for men.
Yeah, he couldn't, just for men.
He couldn't hire his men. That's what it was. It wasn't rock bottom. That shit was jet lagged. He was jet lagged. That's what it was. He wasn't apologizing. He was apologizing he didn't get like first class. He had to fly coach. That's why he had fucking gray hair. I'm telling you, man. These people are so full of shit. But what's crazy about this is we know there's a pandemic with sex trafficking. We know there's a pandemic with underage child abuse. Both sexual and physical. There's a pandemic out there, and the powers that be are involved, and nobody's doing anything about it. The people in religion are involved, and I'm probably gonna get slack for that, but you know what? It's fucking true.
Yeah.
Like,
he was protected for a while.
And nobody's doing anything about it because they're afraid to. Nobody wants to touch a politician. Nobody wants to touch a religious figure because all these people ever do is blame the victim and tell them, oh, it was their fault. They should have never dressed like that. They should never came on like that. You see what I'm saying? They should have stopped me. That's who the fuck says that shit? That's horrible.
Right.
But people are afraid because once they're caught, then all of a sudden they got the rock bottom apology. It's fucking insane, dude. I hit rock bottom. You fucking think?
It's just convenient that you're talking about it now. You're saying that you went and got the help.
All of a sudden.
But the freak-offs continued. Those lubes, that lubrication had been in your possession at least since the apology was issued out. So that that lube was that's been there for 10 years. I stopped using that. I'm a changed man now.
When I hit rock bottom is when I realized how many dildos I actually had in my collection.
I hit rock bottom number. I go to inventory counts on my dildos and realized I'm in a dark place. I've hit rock bottom.
Imagine having to be the cleaning person that had to clean that room. Oh my god.
Dude, he would pay the hotel staff. He would pay to have the baby oils in the room, the rooms cleaned. There was a whole system, which is why that goes back to the organized crime, the racketeering
and all these people that knew.
Yeah,
shut the hell up. They didn't say anything.
People were getting paid off. There was a structure,
or getting paid to shut up. They would rather get that money and never say anything and allow. I mean, let's just be honest. They're allowing the abuse to continue because they want to earn a paycheck. They think money's more worth it than somebody else's life.
Amen. Very few people.
You know what I mean?
Got out of that. We saw Biggie die. We saw Craig Mack die. We saw Black Rob die. There's other people. There's other people that are still alive, but were in Bad Boy, and they got left behind. The only person that did not take the money and did his own thing was Mace. And now Mace is doing good with his own podcast with Cameron. And he's living his life, and he's worshiping and praising God, and he's doing his thing. I can only imagine what Mace is thinking now, looking at what's happening, because he knew that shit wasn't right. That shit's not for me.
Yep. And let's hope he wasn't involved, because either he's like, all right, sitting high and good, or he's shitting bricks right now. So who knows? Only time will tell, right? Because like I said, P Diddy had a fucking list, dude. He had a fucking list.
People are saying that Ben Affleck wanted the divorce from J-Lo because the FBI showed him the stuff that they found with P Diddy when she was with him. And it's like,
what is she? She had her own.
It makes you wonder. You may not want to hang around with her because we're about to hit Diddy with something. And she's going to get tied in, and right now she's your wife. And he's like, what do you mean? And there's Jennifer Lopez in the freak off, which I mean, the pervert in me is like, oh no, it's Johnny J-Lo, the freak off. Oh no. But then I'm like, wait a minute. No, let me get back on track here.
She had an autographed dildo. That's what it was.
All right,
number 748.
She's probably dildo number 10. Let's move on, dude. So we're going to keep a tabs on this. I'd like to keep following up on this one. This is big only because I just feel like I hope he pays for what he's done. And we'll just leave it at that. You good?
I'll fucking check my light.
You still look good.
There we go. Trying to. It's the Pharaoh in me.
What do you want to move on to next, bro?
All right, let's just roll into what do you call it? Fairy smut.
You want to get into fairy smut?
You might as well.
Okay, let's get into fairy smut.
You called me and texted me that. I was like,
So
what the fuck? And normally I'm up to date with this shit, but this one you got me off guard. I was like, what is this?
I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised I caught you off guard because I thought this was in your ballpark when I found out about it.
Not the fairy smut part. Like I knew about smut, but not. I mean, it's common sense. I probably should have put two and two together. That of course they're gonna have a fairy edition of it, but yeah. So
like I said, my perverted mind. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, I know. I have a vision already in my head, but I was like, is that what we're talking about? So I went out last week on a Friday. Last week today, actually, I went out with my wife and her coworkers for some drinks. Good time. And just in the conversation, one of them brings up one of my wife's coworkers. His wife brings up. She says something about fairy smut. And I heard it, and I'm like, I heard that clear as day, but I'm letting her talk, and they're joking and laughing, and so then now I gotta ask. I'm like, did you say fairy smut? And she said, yeah. And I was like, what is fairy smut? Apparently, there are books. There is a world. There is a community. There are people that love to read about fairies having earth-shattering sex. And there are books. And let me tell you something. When I posted it on Facebook, Coach Joe responded. I don't know if you saw that. She responded with the name of the book that they told me you should check this book out if you want to get started. So now I felt like I met other members of this secret club. So Coach Joe knows about it. But yeah, it's like, it's a whole world of just reading about, this fantasy. It's and that's why, I thought of like the D&D and the Warhammer, the fantasy. I was like, maybe Dave is aware of that. They were talking about gay werewolves. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I said, I never thought about gay werewolf. I never really gave a werewolf a sexual preference, but I guess I always just assumed it was heterosexual. How horrible. How horrible of me. Like,
they got the harmony going and everything.
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit.
So I started Googling it.
Oh, good. No, go ahead, good.
I Googled it and I got into this. There's so many Reddits that there's so many goes. Oh, it's like a rabbit hole you're going down, dude. So once somebody posts.
No, that one's in chapter 3, by the way, rabbit hole.
This is how I got hip to what NSFW stands for, which is not safe for work. So anything that's NSFW.
You didn't know that?
No, I'm learning. I just found this out. So I'm like, oh, this is NSFW. Somebody posts fairy smut.
That must be a new band.
Fairy smut. Where do I start? And boy, did the people, they jumped in there. This one person said, pick up any Sarah J. Maas series, but especially A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the same book Coach Joe said, and the same book that my wife's coworker said.
It. There it is.
I've picked up a couple other books involving Fae. F-A-E. I don't know if that stands for something, but that's a common word used in this world. Fae Chronicles. I don't know if it's fairy and erotica. I don't know. But yeah, and you just read these books and you read these fantasies, and there's a lot of it takes place.
Well, you know what? Here it is. This is it. We found the woman's secret, because this is their adult entertainment.
But there are men. But there are men
so,
too. There are men too. One of them, my wife's coworker, is a guy. He was like, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, because it's easier. It's easier to indulge in this, and be looked at as a classier version.
Yeah. This is classy.
That's
porn.
what it is. It's just class and elegance. That when you're reading this stuff, it's in the realm of, have yourself a wine glass and then go from there, dive into these stories and get riled up and enjoy yourself while you're entrapped in these stories. It spills out class. It spills out demure. You know what I mean?
Demure.
Oh, yeah. So you're sitting there, here's the difference. All right. So you're in the subway. Okay. And you have this book. Nobody knows the title of it. Only those who understand what smut is understand that there are some titles like, oh yeah, I read that, but like 50 Shades of Grey, that's smut. So you're reading this in the subway, and people walk by and be like, oh, look at that person. They have class. Look at them. They're enjoying themselves. They're indulging. But even the guy, like you and I, can be reading the book in the subway, but flip it 5 minutes later, we got Pornhub sticking out, playing loud. They're gonna be like, "Oh, look at that son of a bitch, dirty bastard!"
Right?
They're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" There's a difference, it's all about class.
And like I said, I was like, what is it about fairies? I'm intrigued, but I don't want it to be. I can't think of fairies like these tiny little fairies. Like I think of hot women that just happen to be fairies, and I'm like, okay, well then I can get into that world. And I'm trying to be respectful because I don't want to be like, oh, you're just only reading this for the smut. There's a whole story here that you should appreciate.
There's a whole story.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Like people saying you read Playboy for the articles.
I get, yeah. I'm sorry, but there's actually the journalism in those magazines is phenomenal. I mean, yeah.
The author here is really expresses their emotion, and really draws me into the story.
Somebody here says, I would go with Laurel K. Hamilton's Mary Gentry books. The first is A Kiss of Shadows, and somebody comments underneath it, that is the smuttiest of fairy smut, and was my first thought too. So now I'm curious, Dave. I'm curious because I'm going to go read some of this smut. I want to know,
read it.
How are we describing the fairy smut, and how are we and how come I never realized that fairies, they need to get their freak off. They gotta get to their freak off too, like P Diddy. They want to wake up in the morning feeling like P Diddy, but safe and legally.
And safe and legally, yep. I don't know, man. Every time, like, soon as you told me about fairy smut, I'm thinking like, oh shit, unicorns with ball gags. Like, what's going on here? Like, wizard with fucking giant dildo staffs. Like Gandalf wearing a strap on. Like, what is going on here?
Like, is Gandalf like smashing some badass fairy baddies that just fly around?
Like seriously, like what are we reading here? But
what are we?
Then I started to understand that it's just a fantasy version of adult entertainment books. That's what it is. It's a very classier version to indulge in that category. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I think it also gives it a taste of like storytelling and
the intellectual part of it.
The end, like D&D and all that. Like there's this world that's a fantasy world that you can dive in and be a part of with a community. Like you said, you could walk into a party and somebody's reading a fairy smut book, and only those people that know what that book is know what's going on.
Look, this is what I'm going to tell you right now. Like I said in the beginning, I figured out the secret. Because if you want to know how to get your lady riled up, read that book and start taking notes. But
I think what's going to happen is my wife's going to have to read it to get me riled up.
Okay, because it ain't going to happen that way.
No, I don't think I'll walk around fairy wings, but I might be like, baby, you wanna put these fairy wings on, babe? Just walk around.
Put just fairy
just
wings
walk
on.
around and just walk around.
It's just gonna be like, well, if I'm wearing these fairy wings, you're gonna be wearing a unicorn horn, little wings on you.
What you won't do for love.
The delivery pizza guy is gonna look into your house like, what the fuck is going on in here?
So I'm gonna leave this Domino's on the front porch. That's no contact. Thanks. So I'm gonna have to check out
by your window.
Whoever is watching Bro Church right now and following, first and foremost, thank you. Second, help us out if you're into this genre, this world of fairy smut, earth-shattering sex with fairies. Let me know. And like I alluded to earlier, there's also like a world of gay werewolves. I don't know if it's the same universe, if they share the same world, but everybody deserves representation. Yep. And I'm all about trying to discover different topics to talk about on Bro Church.
I mean, you got to think. What if like Tinkerbell had the fairy smut version of Viagra?
See, that's what I mean.
Like, what if Tinkerbell's like, hey, it's not going up. Here's some fairy dust. All you got to think about is happy thoughts, and there you go.
Yeah, like is Tinkerbell like she's not a kid, right? Like Tinkerbell's not a kid. She's a fairy, but she's
Tinkerbell's
not a child
fairy.
Right?
She's a fairy.
But she's not like a child fairy, right? She's an adult fairy.
No, to my understanding, no.
Okay, yeah, because if she was
Tinkerbell's just a fairy.
She was a little smutty.
Yeah, she was a fairy that helped. What do you call it? What's his name?
Peter Pan.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Peter Pan. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Peter Pan was still a baby, so help them be safe and grow.
Okay, well, you know more than I do. Okay, look at you. I think you're in the fairy smut. You
Disney.
won't really come out and admit it.
No, I'm going to start doing some research to figure out what this is about. The D&D game is going to be different now. It's going to be a roll D20 for arousal.
And I remember kind of every now and then, right? Like when you're online and you're looking through your porn stash and you're going through things, every now and then, like this type of genre would kind of creep in there and I'd be like, that's fucking weird. Who the fuck does that? Like, how do you get off on that? And now I'm like, there's a whole fucking world. Oh, you guys have books and stories and you're deep into it.
It's going to get to a point. It's going to get to a point now with this whole fairy smut thing that you're right. It's going to lead into a D&D version now. So, when you're about to get it on with your lady, you'll be like, look, before we do this, I'm going to need you to do a dexterity check and make sure you roll a D20 plus. So, because if you roll anything under a 10, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. If you roll anything under a 10, I can't smash. But anything above.
And then when she gets into the room, she's all ready to roll. You be like, look, I'm trying not to be rude here, but I need to check your stats real quick and do some comparisons because start reading down her numbers off her. She'll hand you a page and you're trying to read down her stats.
Like after I bang you out, you're gonna have to lower your stamina. Like I need to make sure your stamina is gonna go down. You lower that.
Yeah,
shit.
I see that your flexibility is at a -1. Is can we roll to check on that, please? Every time you gotta bring your D20 dice. I see Fireball here. What's that about? What's going on here with this?
I'm curious.
I'm curious. What do you mean by that?
I think we should keep tabs on this as well, Dave. I think there's a more to get into.
I think we got some homework to do.
Maybe we'll have one day we'll have somebody on that can talk to us about the fairy smut and be willing to entertain our shenanigans. Because I can't, not that I'm not taking it seriously. I am taking it seriously, but I have to just be honest. Like, we're talking about fairies banging, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm all about it. Just, just let me get over the hurdle of the fairies, and I'm there, you know.
And the harmonizing gay werewolves.
Gay werewolves. I mean, you know, that's again. Why can't there be? I never thought of that. They're probably out there right now. There's probably
werewolves are badass either way, man. That's pretty cool.
Either way, they're gonna fuck you up. Yeah. All right. So there's that, dude. So that's Fairy Smut. God bless the Fairy Smut community. Amen.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, it's all class, man. It's all class. So
you got the F files. You want to get in the F files?
Glass of wine, reading Fairy Smut. Oh my God, this could be great. But that's what it is. It's class, you know.
Yeah, like are you reading it in like
class of the environment?
It just gets to a scene. It gets to a particular scene, and it's getting good. And you put the book down. You're like, oh my God, it's about to happen. He's fine.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yep. See, but
smack
look right
them
there.
cheeks.
Right there, you showed a little class, because imagine reading that and all of a sudden turning the book sideways with a centerfold. It doesn't show class. It's not going to be classy. You got to be able to strike the intellectual aspect, because women are all intellectuals, right? You gotta work this before you get anything else. You see what I'm saying? Once you stimulate the mind of a woman, the world's yours. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is in the book. It explains it in the book, dude. Once you get it through the book and you start taking notes, it's over, dude. That's the secret. That's the secret.
Yeah, I'm gonna have like my wife read it to me while I'm like, you know, just kind of like laying there and like taking care of myself. And then, oh wait, there's audiobooks. Wait, we just listen to audiobooks.
Oh my God. You're going to have characters doing the sounds?
Dude, we could have like audio dramas of Fairy Smut.
I don't even know where to start with that.
No. But the thing is, people would be lining up like, no, we take this shit very seriously. I would love to voice the male elf or the fairy, whatever. Nonetheless.
It's just gonna be.
I would like to do the
you know what?
fairy.
I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be a character in that whole book. I want to be a fucking dragon. I want a leather-bound dragon.
I would just be the narrator. That's it.
The narrator.
I'll be the voice that nobody sees. I'm just the narrator. All right, man. Let's get into the.
That's fucking great.
Let's get into the fucked up files, aka F files.
Perfect segue.
Files. These files are fucked up.
Speaking of fantasy, or at least the effort of trying, so a zoo out in China, it doesn't specify which one, tried to pass off painted dogs as pandas.
Yes, I do know about this.
And they said it in a way like, hey, by the way, yeah, we tried. Yes, they barked.
They didn't even try, dude.
They weren't even like, oh no. They were like, yeah, they barked. That's what gave it away. That's what gave it away, not the fucking dog that's running around looking like a panda. That's not what gave it away. The people in China are like, this is questionable. Oh shit. Like, really? The fucking one is humping the door over there. Like, I don't think that's what pandas do.
Pandas don't do tricks for treats.
Dude, when you look at it, you're like, wow, that is a poor attempt to try to, and it looked like a dog. It's like painting your dog. And painting
it's a fluffy dog.
And making it look like a panda and saying, that's a panda. And you're like, that's a dog. I'm like, no, I'm a zoologist. I think I know what I'm talking about.
But the dogs weren't even big enough to pass, like, size-wise. It just didn't make it. They just looked like black and white Ewoks or whatever they're called from Star Wars.
They had tails and everything, doing dog things, barking, going around, taking a shit here and there, and they're like, yeah, this is legit. I think people will buy it. Like, you got to think about the guy who actually thought that up. A paid zoologist was like, you know what? You want pandas? I give you pandas. I know a guy.
How do you paint them? Are you like putting them to sleep so you can really steadily paint?
I don't think they even put them to sleep because the paint didn't even look right. It brings to life that saying is like, you know, when you order from Wish, you know, like it literally, it's the facts, dude. It's what happens when you order a panda off of Wish.com, man. This is what you get, a fucking dog painted.
It reminds me, dude, when you and Ronnie had your baby shower for Gavi. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a cake made. It was supposed to have like a baby Mickey and Minnie Mouse on it. Whoever did it, it was a horrible Mickey and Minnie.
It was horrible.
It was like, so like, where did we get this cake? This is the generic version.
Yeah. It wasn't baby Mickey and Minnie. It was their cousin Frank and Ralph.
They were all like skinny and like droopy looking. And,
they were all meth version of Disney.
Trailer park trash, Mick and Min.
It's like the crack. Mick and Min. Oh my God, that was perfect. But yeah, so needless to say, if you see a panda in a Chinese zoo, question it. Always question it.
And China's so big,
you might
so
not.
like, where in China? Like, China's just huge.
It didn't specify. I was trying to figure out exactly where. I think they were just that embarrassed that they didn't want to say exactly where it was.
People in China are like, yo, we're not that stupid. It was just those fucks over there.
Those people right there. Those motherfuckers right over there. So another story. A robot gets a face of living skin that allows it to smile. And I'm telling you, it's creepy as fuck. When you look at this thing, it's like all it is just like, you know when you chew gum and you flatten it out and then you just put two eyes on it and it's smiling at you. Yeah, this is the beginning, man. What's it called? Skynet? This is where it starts.
You said living skin.
Living skin. Yeah, actual living skin. And it's
from
smiling.
Where?
It's where you get skin from.
Cadavers? What they taking it off?
China. There you go. You get skin from China. Is it legit?
Wish.
I don't know. We'll find out.
They got skin from Wish.
It's probably chewing gum. Like I said before, it's probably just chewing gum. They just spread it out so it's skin. All right. But yeah, they actually are now moving on to living skin and putting in our robots. This is fucking Skynet, dude.
I wonder why. I mean, my God, to go that far, you can create fake-looking skin. The real skin.
Yeah,
this
real
is
living
it.
skin.
This is it, man.
Yep. I don't know how they do it, but like,
do they create?
Yeah. So,
do they create robot fairies that will become living and breathing smut fairies?
Man, you're just planning ahead, aren't you?
Interesting.
He's like, I'm going to get a whole book series.
They create like these flying fairies that are like drones. And they just fly around, but they're robots.
At this point, the shit that we're creating right now, all I'm saying is like related to our own destruction, because now we're putting skin on robots. I'm telling you, man, I've seen this movie before.
You're getting all dark about it, and I'm like, yeah, but they could come over.
It doesn't end well.
They could fly. Yeah, right.
All right, I got one more. So
give it to me.
These gangs out here, man, are getting rough. I'm just gonna lead in. I'm gonna segue into saying that, and we gotta watch ourselves, because a jogger left bloodied and dazed and crying after getting mauled by a gang of otters. So the otter gang, call it crotters, you know, throwing up a set. You know what I mean? They're just like, they see this lady. It was like, we don't like the way she looks.
Animal?
So.
The actual animal. A gang of otters?
Actual animal a group of otter, a woman was left crying in the pool of her own blood after getting savaged by a gang of otters in Malaysia. The unidentified victim had reportedly been jogging through the Tang Huang Aru Recreation Park in Sabah when she was beset by eight of the beasts. Viral press reported. They really were dramatic. This is really dramatic in how they wrote. They were beset by 8.
What does that mean?
Beasts.
Beset.
They're fucking otters, dude. Yeah.
Fucking otters.
They beat the shit out of her, but you think you could have run a little faster if you were jogging. I mean, they're fucking otters. But I think the otters got word of what was going on here by Trump, that they decided to form a gang and say, you ain't getting us. You're not getting us.
I went to type beset. Is it beset or beset?
What? Beset. B-E-S-E-T.
I started typing B-smut. I started typing B-smut. All right.
Yeah,
B-set.
watch what you pull up there, because you're not going to be able to sleep.
Beset is to be covered or studded with.
Yep.
Trouble or threaten person persistently. Wow.
Yeah, by a gang of otters, dude. Like,
to attack on all
that's some serious
sides.
shit, man.
Even as he was being beset with disasters. Okay, that's a new word I'm learning, dude. Beset.
That's a new word,
so
man.
a woman,
I'm telling you, it's really intriguing.
she didn't do
article,
anything
so.
to provoke the gang of otters. You mean to tell me peaceful otters like cup their hands together, like that's what they do to hold on to
They
each
came
other.
after her, man.
Oh,
She came into their territory and didn't pay the toll, and they were like, you know what, we gotta blood you. That's how we do up here in Malaysia.
They were like, listen, we wanted you to
The
be
gang
our fairy
violence is
smut,
getting
and you
rough
won't
out
do
there,
it.
man. Yeah, reportedly they were listening to Biggie and Tupac while they were hanging around in the territory. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's fucked up news. You got gang of otters, fake pandas, and robot with faces.
Real skin. Robot with real living skin.
Real skin, dude.
Yeah, the other side, the eastern part of the world they're ahead of the fucking wave here. I'm a little concerned.
Well, here's the thing though. You know what? I'll just say this. Let me give you one more. This only tells you how bad we're getting here in this country with obesity, because a rescued bald eagle was too fat to fly because it ate a raccoon, a whole raccoon, the whole thing. So it was too heavy to fly. So the bald eagle was so bloated with eating a raccoon that it wasn't able to fly. So they had to wait for the bald eagle to digest the raccoon to be able to lose some weight and fly. That just says a lot about this country. Our own fucking bird.
You know, you see
It's
those
too fucking
videos
fat
of
to
like
fly.
little kids getting picked up by eagles by their talons, those big eagles, and I'm like,
this one was like,
I'll shoot a bald
this
eagle,
one
bro.
was,
Let me
this bald eagle was running around in a Walmart cart, moving around, beep, beep. Just driving. They had a handicap sign, just driving around.
What are you talking about? I don't get it, dude.
You know those Walmart carts that you sit in and drive? That's what
What's
this bald
that?
eagle was doing. Had a wife beater on.
What's the context of this? I'm so confused right now.
This is this fat bald eagle that couldn't fly. Because it couldn't fly, it was running around a Walmart cart. It was just driving. It was just with the fucked up wife beater. It was like, America.
Yeah, he's buying like T-shirts that are on sale at the checkout line.
Complaining how slow the line's going. I got a goddamn nest to build. Go on, get the fuck out of here.
His wife's like, honey, can you just put the chicken on the fucking belt so we can get going? He's like, wait a minute, I'm looking at these bandanas. There's bandanas.
Yeah, I'm looking at
besides the gum.
An American bandana. It's got a Make America Great Again t-shirt on.
They're all spelled incorrectly. That's why they're like 75% off. It's like, in God we trust. In God we trust.
Because they ordered the shirts from Wish.
Wish.
And then try to pawn it off as American made.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking bald eagle cracks me up, dude.
All right, man. That's some fucked up shit.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's some fucked up files in that. I figured I'd end it with that.
I appreciate that.
Fucked up than that.
I missed the effed up files. It's good to get that back on track. We will be keeping in tow with the P Diddy drama, the fairy smut shenanigans, and anything new that comes down the pipe. For those that are watching and listening, thank you for your social media presence and following and comments and likes.
Yeah, definitely.
Dave and I are having a blast, and we're going to keep doing this because we just love shooting the shit. And
yeah, this is fun.
This is fun, man. Yeah.
And we love the feedback too, man. Give us the feedback. We love that shit.
Yeah, good point, man. We definitely need the feedback only because sometimes I feel like we're talking to a void.
You know, why not, right?
I know how many times I shared stuff and it just doesn't get anything. Only person that likes it is you. Well, I guess there's the algorithm against me. Maybe they're not even seeing it. Like, Dave liked it. Dave liked it. Like, great. He's in Bro Church. Like, great.
It's in the fucking show. You gotta like your own stuff, man. I'm telling you, if you don't like your own stuff, it ain't gonna fly.
I'm gonna start doing
that. Oh, shit. Talking to a void. That's great. The void of darkness.
All right, man. Well, I think we're gonna call it a wrap. Is there anything else you wanted to get into?
All right. Huh?
Anything else you wanted to get into before we sign off?
No, that's it, man. I think we got a good one there.
All right. Well, that is the Dave. I am Felix. This is Bro Church. We will see you again. Remember, we discuss serious topics, but we're not that serious. Not serious at all. No. You all be safe.
That's great.